Welcome back, children. How was the first session? Very interesting, right? Most of you have shown me the assignment. Very good. Keep it up. Now shall we move on to the second session? What did we learn in the first session? It was about microorganisms, and we learned some 3 examples also for microorganisms. What were they? Amoeba, Euglena, Paramecium. Okay, now do you want to see the live microorganisms? Come, let's see. How was the video? You liked? Very small microorganisms seen under a microscope. This is how they look. Okay, now we all living beings on earth have physiological activities. We all do physiological activities every day. What are our physiological activities? Running, walking, smiling, listening to me, writing, digestion, breathing, respiration. These are all our physiological activities. Well, microorganisms are very tiny organisms. Do they also do all these physical activities? Yes. Interesting, right? They also do all these activities, that is breathing, reproduction, metabolic activities. All these physiological activities are done by microorganisms too. How do they do? For that, we should know what is the basic unit of all living organisms. Now, for example, look at the walls around you. How is a wall made up of? You all know that wall is made up of bricks. So, brick is the basic unit of wall. Likewise, all living organisms, they have very small unit, and that is called cell. What is it? Cell. Okay. What is cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Okay. Now what is cell? You know that cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Okay. Now we shall compare ant and microorganisms. Now if you take an ant is very small. You know that. Compared to us, ant is very small. But how many cells are there in ant? Thousands. Thousands of cells are there in an ant. Whereas when you take a microorganisms, what are the 3 microorganisms you have learned? Amoeba, Paramecium, Euglena. When you take these 3 microorganisms, they have only 1 cell. So you can compare and see now. Okay, microorganisms like amoeba, Euglena and Paramecium, they have only 1 cell, whereas an ant has thousands of cells. So what about us? Just imagine, thousands, millions of cells are there in us. Okay, now we are going to learn 2 new terms here. What are they? Unicellular, multicellular. Shall we write it on the board? What is the term unicellular mean? Unicellular means there is only 1 cell for that living organisms. Now you know which is unicellular organisms. What are unicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms are those which have only 1 cell. What are they? We know that. Already we have learned that. Which are the unicellular organisms? Amoeba, Euglena, Paramecium. Shall we write it on the board? Now what are multicellular organisms? More than 1 cell if it is there in an organism, it is called multicellular organisms. Now I spoke about ant, right? Ant is having, how many cells are there in an ant? thousands of cells are there in an ant. So ant is a multicellular organism. Okay, give me more examples. Any other examples? Any living organisms which is having more than one cell? Yes, tiger, human beings, goat, sheep, all these are multicellular organisms. So we can write down goat, plants, human beings. So these are all multicellular organisms. Now we have learned what is unicellular and what is multicellular. What are multicellular organisms? What did we learn here? Unicellular and multicellular organisms. So we can write in your file, you can make column tablet like this. Make columns, 2 columns, unicellular, multicellular. You can give title and note down the examples for this. Apart from that, write down questions like what are unicellular organisms? You can define very easily. What are unicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms are organisms which have only one cell. What are multicellular organisms? Multicellular organisms are those organisms which have more than one cell. Now it is clear why we are not able to see unicellular organisms through naked eye. Why we can't see? Because there is only one cell in a unicellular organism. That is why we need a microscope to observe these organisms. Children, now we will go to a picture which you can see in your textbook. Okay, we will see that and come back. What did you see in that picture? A small boy standing there and he is talking to his father, maybe an adult. What is he saying? Do cells grow up as we grow? It's a doubt. All of us have that doubt. Do our cells grow up as we grow? Does the size increase? Everybody has that doubt. You also have that doubt. Sure. For that, to prove that, we will do an experiment. When we do an experiment, we require some materials. What are the materials required? Microscope. You have already seen in your last class what is a microscope. Slide, that also you have seen. And number 3 is watch glass to cover it. Okay, cover glass. So these are the 3 materials required to do this experiment. Apart from that, we also need some cheek cells. Where are your cheeks? Touch your cheeks. So this is your cheeks. So we require some cells from cheeks. How will we collect cheek cells? Very easy. What should you do? First you should rinse your mouth. Why do you rinse your mouth? To keep it clean. Okay. Now after rinsing your mouth, you take a new toothbrush. Okay. Then insert it inside and scrape some cells from the internal surface of the cheek. Now you have some cheek cells in your brush. Now take the slide, add a drop of water to the slide and then drop this. The toothbrush you have some cheek cells, that you have to drop to the water in the slide. After that you cover it with a cover glass and then slide it under the microscope, that is lens. Now you can easily observe through the lens what is the shape of the cheek cell. What does a microscope do? It will magnify the size of the cells and we can observe easily. Now, shall we see how the cheek cells of the child as well as the adult look? Come, let's have a look. Now, did you observe the cheek cell of the child and how was the cheek cell of the adult? Both look similar, right? Both of them are looking similar. There was no difference in the cheek cells of the child as well as the adult. What does this show? This shows that the cheek cells are same for all the human beings. Even if it is a newborn child or if it is a very grown up old man. So what is happening here? The cells never grow up as you grow up. Now you are in 6th standard. Next year you will be going to 7th standard. Does the size of the cell grow? Never. Only the number of cells is growing. Now, for example, if you are in 6th standard, you might be having 6 million cells, for example. Now, next year you are going to 7th standard. So, how many cells you will be having? Maybe 7 million cells. Only the number increases, but the size never varies. This is what is happening. Even if it is a child or even if it is an adult, the shape of the cells looks the same. Only the number differs. Okay. Now you got the answer for the boys' question. Is it clear? Let me tell you one more example. Okay. Now you are imagine your house. It's a medium-sized house. Now we have one more house in the corner of your street. It is a big house, maybe a bungalow. Okay. Now, how is your house made up of? We all know houses are constructed using bricks. Now, what is that house made up of, which is huge? That is also made up of bricks. So there is no difference. What is the major difference here? Your house is made up of little quantity of bricks, whereas that house in the corner of the street is made up of huge number of bricks. That's the only difference. Likewise, in human beings also, or in living beings, the smaller animals have small number of cells, whereas the bigger animals have more number of cells. Only the quantity or the number varies, the size never varies. Understood? Children, do you want to know something interesting? Interesting fact. A human body contains millions of cells. So imagine the number of cells in an elephant. Millions and millions of cells, right? Okay, let me conclude the class here. Wind up. Okay. Now, before winding up, we will go to the assignment. What was the first question? Does the number of cells vary in an ant and elephant? If so, how? That is the question. What is the question? Does the number of cells vary in an ant and an elephant? If so, how? You know the answers. All of you know the answers. Write this question in the file and then you should answer. What is the answer? Yes. The number of cells vary in an ant and an elephant. How does it vary? The number of cells is lesser in an ant, whereas in an elephant it is much more higher. Okay, that is why the size of the element is bigger than the size of the ant. This is the answer you have to mention in your file. See you all in the next class. Bye bye.